clap?
Clap.
Yeah. Hang on, we have to clap.
Okay.
Oh, on one. Okay, on two.
Wait,
1, 2.
1, 2, 3.
Why'd you just count? You didn't even say when you wanted me to clap.
Oh yeah, count after 3. So 1, 2, 3, clap.
4. Oh, you said count after 4 or count after 3.
Yeah, clap like
1,
where
2,
4
3,
would.
4.
Dude, you're pissing me off, bro. Okay, hold on. Hey, shut up.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, act as if we are counting to 4, but on the 4th, number, instead of doing the number, you clap so that we can sync up the audio. Okay. 1, 2, 3,
4.
No, don't clap. You don't count. What's up, boys? Welcome back to the GreasyMac podcast. It's Friedmemechef.
Hey, what's up? It's GreasyMac. How's it going, me?
It's going good. I'm just hanging out. What you been doing over the last week? It's been an entire week since we've spoken. As far as they know.
Yeah, I've just been playing Valorant nonstop. Been streaming a lot more. Actually. Been holding my word on a few days.
That's too bad.
Oh yeah, too bad for the average Friedmemechef enjoyer, but a lot of average GreasyMac enthusiasts are hyped right now at how much content I'm pumping out, and I'm excited for the future. So it's been a great. Not much else to say. It's just been a great week.
That's good for you.
Had a classic death nap. Had a classic death nap yesterday. I call them death naps. It's when I go to sleep and then feel like I will never wake up. When I wake up, I'm surprised, and I think that my heart could stop at any point. And that's just because I'm really tired. But that's that's with work and all that stuff. It's just I hate my life.
Surprisingly, can't relate to that.
Yeah, you just kind of sleep and don't do anything, right?
No.
Prove it.
I don't know if I've necessarily ever thought that I'm not going to wake up when I go to sleep.
No, it's like when I wake up. No, it's like when I wake up, I feel like, how did I wake up? Because I feel that awful. Like I don't go to bed thinking I'm gonna die. I wake up thinking, how did I not? Again, it is quite the experience. It's probably like a weekly occurrence.
I think you're describing a hangover, but in just worse terms.
And no alcohol too.
Oh, you're not doing your White Claw nightly benders anymore?
All right. So what was funny is that I did 2 White Claw streams over the course of 2 months, and then somebody in my Discord's like, yeah, I just think Mac uses these streams as a excuse to get drunk. And I'm like, I've done this like twice. Like I stopped doing it, but once you start doing something, people are like, oh, he's getting drunk, he's getting crunk. It's how it's going today. And I can't, now everybody thinks that I'm a fucking alcoholic. And you know what? Maybe I'll just make it true.
Because there was probably a week straight where you were doing only drinking streams.
It's because when I think of something, and then I just do it over and over again. Yeah.
So I do have, not to force a subject change, but I really wanted to talk about this. So there's been this thing going around on Twitter and on TikTok, and it's of this popular speedrunner. He plays Minecraft and stuff. His name is Dream. And he has always been a faceless content creator, which basically just means no one knows what he looks like, right? And a fan tweeted out what is allegedly a picture of him. Apparently, it's been verified in some way by his brother that it's him. I don't know the truth, but I don't know if that's genuinely true. That's just what I've seen on Twitter, so
Sure.
Not a real reliable source, but basically in all of Dreams, he's put out a music video. He's put out animations of him. He's also done like merch photo shoots, and supposedly it is now his brother in it, because he portrays himself as this skinny, somewhat attractive looking guy. That's crazy. And in these pictures that have been coming out, sorry, what?
No, I'm saying that's crazy because I like when I was thinking through this and I haven't put together everything, I didn't put that 2 and 2 together. I was thinking he just, for lack of like he just lost weight. Like I don't know. I just figured that these were older pictures. And,
No.
That's the theory.
No, that's what everyone's been saying is that it's his brother, which again, all alleged. What I'm more wondering is what your thoughts are on this because, and video watchers, there's going to be the picture of the alleged picture of Dream on the screen. Maybe side by side, I'll put what he claims to look like in like his music video. Okay. But a lot of his fans focus on like they find him, attractive for some reason, which I can't imagine how you'd find someone attractive if you don't know what they look like.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
But he's said before, I don't know, he talks a lot about how he's skinny, which I just think is weird. Like, it's fine. I have no issue with being an overweight creator. I'm an overweight creator. However, I feel like it's really weird to, like, especially if you see that a lot of your audience is, like, these younger girls who are like, wow, he's a femboy or whatever. I don't know. Like, they find you attractive, and to, like, lean into that feels weird, especially if it's just not true. I could understand it. I could understand, like, not intentionally leaning into it if you've got, like, a young, like, preteen audience, not intentionally leaning into it, but it's just like, oh, this is what I look like. I don't know what you want me to do. But if it's just blatantly not true what he looks like, I feel like that's a really scummy thing to do.
No, yeah. I mean, that leads into catfishing a little bit, right? Like, it's weird to an extent to kind of develop this own reality where you are just completely different than who you are, and then state that as the truth, like, or to go as far as saying, like, that's exactly what I look like, and then in actuality, you're like I said, you're essentially catfishing an entire millions of people into thinking that. Now, again, this is all alleged, like you said, so we don't know for sure if anything is true, but I guess it all comes down to this weird, like, kind of lying mentality that's been coming out of Dream for quite some time. But
yeah, and personally, I'm not a Dream viewer, I guess, like, especially because I really enjoy the speedrunning community, and to be honest, he's kind of been like the laughing stock of the speedrunning community for a while. Like, he, lies on runs, all that stuff. He tries to defame the speedrunning board and stuff. So most of the speedrunning community doesn't really like Dream. But, like, I think that it's really funny, or not funny, but I'm not really sure. It's like, on one hand, maybe he feels more comfortable not sharing his body online, but just, like, don't claim that this other thing is exactly. Like, I feel like he crossed a line if he really did have his brother body double for him in merch pics.
It's weird. I think, like, if you're going to be
especially
faceless,
because
just lean into that and just don't.
He showed it as, because he talked about it as like a, look, the first IRL picture I'm putting out. Like, that's what he advertised it as, being an IRL picture of him, and then it wasn't, which just feels super weird.
Yeah. So no, it's weird. I said yeah. Yeah, it's weird in a sense that, I don't know, that, like, if you're gonna be faceless, there's so many Minecraft YouTubers that lean into that, and they can develop personas, anything, crazy stuff, whatever they want, and develop these mascots, these avatars, and they lean into that, and they lean into, like, the mystery of that. But to say one thing and to actually find out that you're completely opposite or don't look anything like what you're saying, it does feel like a catfishing scenario. What I will say is that I don't know. It feels weird to kind of target, and again, he's a very big creator. It feels weird that he is having to be targeted so heavily like this, where I'm not trying to be on his side, but it must really, really suck to be caught in such a position to where now you are literally being doxxed over and over again, to where people know exactly who you are, because you put yourself in a position where you like were mysterious about it, and then you leaned into the fact that you were hot and all that kind of stuff, and then now people want to see who you are. You know, the people that really are like obsessed with you are gonna find out, and so I feel like leaning into that drove people to do that madness. Now I wouldn't wish this upon anybody, but the fact is that, you know, some of this rhetoric led this to happen, and it sucks, but now he's in a very precarious situation, like even just legally and lawfully he's gonna get hurt, you know, and it sucks to happen to anybody.
I think, okay, I've sort of gathered my thoughts on it, so now it can be like much more coherent. I don't have a problem with what he looks like, and I feel like there's a very thin line that we're treading here.
Exactly.
Where it's like we're not making jokes about how he looks. I think, you know, like streamers, or not just streamers, but content creators in general do not have to be attractive. However, I think there are tons of faceless creators on this platform, or like on any platform, and none of them have really had too much of an issue with this before. I mean, you even look like, I'm trying to think of some good examples here, but like J-Schlatt for the longest time, like he never tried to lean into this idea of like, oh, I'm attractive. Yes, I do look like this. Yes, I am skinny. Even though he's like a well-built person, but there have been tons of faceless creators that haven't taken this path of like, yeah, you're faceless, so don't put a face to it. Like, don't make this this persona that involves, you know, attractiveness, if that makes sense. Like, if the whole point of his mask and whatever is to hide himself and how he's feeling or whatever, then hide yourself. Be a faceless creator. Don't like lie about it and say you look one way. I feel like it's scummy, you know?
Yeah, and I agree. I think J-Schlatt, I think the way it reminds me, it's a weird callback, but it reminds me of, there's a scene in Star Wars. It's a weird thing. It was a weird reference, but Star Wars: The Force Awakens, when they were bringing back really old characters, and they put them on the scene immediately. It was Han Solo and Chewbacca. They introduced the characters, and they just threw them on the screen. There was no like big mystical entrance with fog or whatever. And I think that's the way J-Schlatt did it. And he just like at the end of his, you know, big Ender Dragon thing, he was like, "This is me. This is who I am. You know, I don't give a shit." This whole dream buildup has been so excessive that it feels like it's just caused this massive, like, multi-headed beast to form that's gonna essentially betray its creator and hurt him, and it's doing it right now. I think I'm trying to think if there's other examples of maskless creators. I mean, again, there's never been mask creators that have been this big, so it's easy to not be able to find something to compare to and say everybody's handled it better than him.
I mean, what about Swagger Souls? Because
I mean, Swagger Souls' his own persona carries him, so yeah, it's easy for him to. I feel like.
Yeah, and I think Swagger Souls is a perfect example of, as much as people, you know, wanted to see what he looked like, and like, the only times that a Swagger Souls face reveal was brought up was when he leaned into it, or even How to Basic. The only time How to Basic face reveals were brought up was when he leaned into it, because he didn't focus on it. But I feel like Dream, so like most of his social media presence is focused on teasing a face reveal, like
a lot of mask content, even the song, obviously.
Yeah, even his song is focused on the fact that he wears a mask, and like, I don't know. I just think it's super weird, how much he. I don't want to say how much he dwells on it, because we're dwelling on it too. I mean, we're the ones talking about it on a podcast, but like, I've watched a whole lot of faceless creators. Again, I don't watch a Dream. I just see his presence on social media. I follow him on Twitter. I don't know if I still follow him, but like, I see a whole lot of posts that he makes where he teases a face reveal and stuff, and it's like, I get it if the whole point of being faceless is that you're not comfortable with how you look, but if you're going to constantly tease a face reveal, then you can't be upset when people force that face reveal, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's just unfortunately that's the beast that is being a content creator online. And again, I don't wish any, and I don't think either of us wish any bad or any harm upon him. It's just
yeah,
it's just hard to handle this kind of situation, especially.
I certainly don't think that what he's done is at all bad enough to deserve getting doxxed. Exactly. I think it's like kind of weird he did it, but no, I don't think that people who are like going and like harassing his family and stuff, crazy. Like I think that is absolute psycho behavior, and like genuinely, if you're someone who does that, you need to like get a better hobby, like get something that's not so focused on this guy.
And that's what happens when you have big communities like this. That kind of stuff will fester, and so it's up to the creator to be able to handle that. And maybe he can't, and that's just that's what the point of the mask is. Like all that kind of stupid stuff. But where you have Swagger Souls, who's probably a mature creator in the sense of he's edgy, but he's mature in the sense that he seems like he can corral the crowd pretty well and kind of. He does. His fans don't seem outrageous. Like as in comparison, maybe they're edgy, but they're not outrageous psychos. Like some of the people that are festering in that community with Dream.
It can be seen a lot in like, and I think it's 100% just the demographic. Kind of to shift over here a little bit.
Sure.
There was I've seen. With especially after the release of the BTS meal and stuff at McDonald's, BTS has sort of had like a resurgence on my TikTok feed, which is funny because I genuinely can't name a single BTS song other than I think like Dynamite, just because I saw it a whole lot.
They did stuff with Halsey.
Yeah,
that's
so
all I know.
I hear a lot of people talking about it, and I think it's funny because like that's another community where like you offer the slightest criticism and like genuinely the comments will be flooded with people like ratioing the post with not as in saying ratio. I mean like they just get the like ratio with all the comments saying like, oh wow, you should actually off yourself and stuff like that. And it's like, bro, like chill. It's just weird. Like I think it's so odd, this culture that's on the internet right now where people are like willing to get themselves banned on platforms to defend creators that just don't care about them. Like truthfully, Dream does not care how many burner accounts these people have that get banned when they tell, Weast to kill himself for saying he doesn't like Dream. Or like BTS is never going to pay attention to these people who have all these accounts where they just like solely dox people who don't like BTS. So I just think it's weird. Like, what do you think is this? Why do you think that these like children, truthfully, they're all children. If they're adults, that's pathetic. But like, why do you think these children feel this strong connection? I don't even think I think it's past the point of being a parasocial relationship. It's just an obsession at this point.
My wonderance is whether or not having everything occur on Twitter kind of in front of our eyes is something that we never saw before in the past when things were kind of kept offline, and so now we're allowing these people to interact, and it becomes even more obsessive. It's like a bit of a feed-forward loop where things become increasingly like entropical or chaotic or whatever. So it gets even more and more just like a ball of like scary. But I think it's funny. What I really want to see is a showdown between the K-pop profile picture women, like the women pictures. I don't know if it's whoever it is behind the picture. Those people who tell people to kill themselves consistently, and the ratio / racist edgy soccer picture people. I think, or football or whatever across the world. I think that showdown, those people are like equally toxic in their own ways. But I think K-pop, the K-pop stands that support Dream, all that kind of stuff, are a little bit worse. Surprisingly, like they are threatening people's lives, whereas the others are threatening people's comfortability with race, which is of course its own issue. But this is livelihood that people could like die in a sense, telling people to kill themselves. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I think it's something that's really funny to me how much comment sections just in general have devolved, but like also just on Twitter in general, how much it's just evolved. You know, you've got people who, number one, just can't handle criticism of things they like. Like, something they like gets slightly critiqued, and for some reason that, like, justifies, like, oh, let me ruin your life, let me dox you. And, like, truthfully, I used to think that was, like, a dramatized version of what people were saying.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, since I've been on Twitter, like, actively, it is insane how many times I see people get doxxed just over the dumbest things. Like, someone will make a slight joke about BTS, and, like, you'll look in the comments, and it'll just be the person's home address and, like, their parents' phone numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
And somehow enough people support the idea of doxing that person that it, like, ratios the original tweet with likes. But, like, also on the other end of the spectrum, like you were saying with the soccer profile picture people, how is it that trolls have gotten so unfunny? Like, trolls used to be on the internet, like, the reason that they were so, I guess, feared in a way is that, like, they were, like, good at what they did. Like, they were quick-witted. They could make you mad really easily. But, like, now, and, like, looking back on people getting trolled, or even yourself getting trolled, you know, 10 years ago or whatever,
Sure.
it was like, you can look back on it and be like, wow, that was actually pretty funny. Like, what that person did was pretty funny. But now it's just like, you go in the comments of a TikTok, and it'll just be like a person with a gay son, and it'll be like, my respect for you, and then the down graphs and stuff. Yeah, or it'll just be like the clown emoji or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like,
or just ratio. It's like a laziness. It almost feels like a laziness, like ratio. And that's literally all they type on every single comment section.
And the thing is, it's gotten to the point where even like they don't even succeed at the ratios anymore.
No,
because
don't.
it's not even funny anymore.
It's the counter ratios.
Like, at this point, it's not even a troll thing. I just like if I go in a TikTok comment section and I see, like, someone making one of those my respect for you jokes or something, I just unfollow them. Like, if I see that I'm following them, I just unfollow them. Or, like, if I see it and it's like it's an obnoxious enough setting to do it in, I just block them. Like, it's not trolling anyone at all. I don't know, to quote Pay Money Wubby, this is a separate context that he used it, and he was talking about the Twitch Deer Girl. And to clarify this, I'm allowed to say this. But he said, it's like the person who runs up to you and says, oh, look, I'm a retard. And then you point out that they're acting like a retard, and they're like, oh, I wanted you to do that. And it's like, what's the point in doing that? I don't know. It's just weird. I don't understand, like, troll culture, I guess, on anything anymore. That was sort of to give, like, my opposite side of the spectrum. Sure. So it's not like I'm only shitting on one side of the spectrum of social media. I also think the other side that's constantly trolling Dream and whatever, I think none of them are that funny.
No, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of cloud chasing. There's a lot of, I mean, like, for example, and I don't want to get too far into this and continue going, but speedrunning wise, Dream was kind of, it was weird. The speedrun community kind of came out at him, like, very, very harshly, and even went so as far as to create a goddamn video essay on how he cheated instead of just rejecting it and saying why, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's a, and I don't know, I don't actually remember the timeline exactly if he attacked them first, and I don't know what happened, but it feels like very dramatic for the sake of just, like, fun, like, clout chasing. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's so many ways that Dream could have handled it that would have made him not such a bad guy. But the thing about speedrunning is it's like a competitive thing. Like, there's tons of people where it's like speedrunning is their livelihood, right?
It's these sweats that are like, this is their thing.
Yeah, and so, like, it's I personally don't like that Dream just sort of, like, because I don't know if you knew this, but he actually paid people to make those mods for him. Like, they were not just mods he downloaded. He paid people to make those mods for him that he accidentally had on. He paid modders to do it. Oh. And so it's like, and also, even though like those mods, you know, he would have known that they were on when you launched Minecraft. He would have been able to see that he had, you know, Minecraft Forge or whatever client, you know, open. It's not like each Minecraft update that comes out, you have to re-update those mods. Like, it's not like they're accidentally left on, you know.
Yeah.
But also, like, he tried to discredit the mods of those speedrunning leaderboards.
Yeah.
And he tried to get them, like, kicked off of that platform by being like, no, I'm not cheating. And then I just thought that it was really scummy how then he came out and was like, okay, guys, I was cheating, but just so you know, I've moved on, so we all need to move on. Instead of, like, slightly confronting the issue, you know. Sure. However, I do think a lot of people were very overdramatic about it. I don't really know where I stand. I personally just am not going to consume his content, because he doesn't have very good integrity at this point. Like, I don't have a reason to.
You know what I'm mad about? I got banned from the r/speedrun community.
Why?
I got banned because I posted a video of me building a cat tower and a speedrun, like a cat tower building speedrun, and I thought it was a funny joke. That video. And then I posted it a second time because they were like, "Oh, this has been removed because it's low effort content." I'm like, "Well, wait, what do you mean? I edited this. You know, I think it's pretty good." So I posted it twice, and it got taken down again. And so I contacted the mod. I was like, "I'm just confused. Can you clarify why this is being taken down?" And then they're like, "You can't talk to us," and they banned me.
That's really funny.
Literally straight up, like, you cannot talk to mods. And I'm like, what is your job?
That wasn't the people. He wasn't attacking our speedrunning. He was talking. Yeah.
Sure. This is speedrun.com, but still, that this community is very serious, and so if you take them on, they have no lives. Like, they will come after you.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, no. That's my bias, but no. I mean, either way, like, the internet. I mean, this isn't a hot take. It's just fucking nuts.
So what was it that you were telling me earlier about consoles? You had something that you were telling me.
Oh, actually, maybe building up speedrunning. We'll get into that later. Speedrunning. You hear about this? I love fucking saying that. You hear about this? Basically.
Yeah, I can tell.
You hear about this?
You're really leaning into that bit.
You hear about this? Basically, there has been this streamer that I've been watching, and I was kind of introduced to, like, maybe 2 years ago, and it's not that I watch him religiously, but it's kind of good background noise every so often. But there's this streamer named Shift, S-H, not capital I, and then everything else is capital. But anyway, his name is Shift, and I just thought that it would be interesting to talk about this guy a little bit of a biopic. He has been speedrunning the same game since 2016, so about 5 years. He has been speedrunning the same game on twitch.tv for 5 straight years. Now, obviously not the same game every day, but damn near close, actually. So in 2021, or actually I guess 2020, this last full year of content, he played Battle for Bikini Bottom. How many hours do you think? How many hours? There's 8,760 hours in a year. How many, ballpark, how many hours do you think he played, like SpongeBob?
I'm going to say, let me clarify, is he a, like, partnered streamer?
Yeah, he's partnered. He gets about 400 viewers, yeah.
Okay, so it's like his full-time job. So I'm going to say 1,000.
Yeah, so Shift has streamed SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom for 2,178 hours.
That is insane.
That is 23% of his life. Like not sleeping, not anything else. That I think he averages going for about 8 hours a day every single day. I don't think I've seen him take a break. And if he does, it's like because he is absolutely exhausted of this game. I mean, he's the number one. He holds the world record for SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. And
I remember for a while Moist Critical held the record.
Yeah, for the 3 a.m. Or no, that was Mr. Krabs' ketamine run. That was a different thing.
Oh no. Yeah, I was thinking of a different one. Yeah.
Mr. Krabs on ketamine.
Yeah.
No, this I just find this to be absolutely awe-inspiring and just crazy, because I mean, in me and myself, I've been a variety streamer because I just can't handle playing the same thing over and over again. This isn't Minecraft, like, where you're like, oh, it's a Minecraft streamers. What do you mean? Like, they play Minecraft all the time. Minecraft is like a sandbox game, or Roblox is a sandbox game. There are so many mini games and experiences within it. Here you have this same exact game, the same exact everything. It is just a logical story game, over and over again, every day. The same sounds, the same jokes, everything. And I just don't know. I'd love to get some sort of insight on his, like, a brain scan as to how his brain has been affected by doing this every day. But anyway, speaking of that, the reason why I wanted to bring that up is, I guess, like, what are your thoughts on being that dedicated to one game as opposed to being a variety streamer? Do you think it's the move to an extent to be an expert in one field? I mean, when the new game for this came out, the Rehydrated Edition, he got a boost. He went up to like 1,000 viewers for a couple months and then went back down again. But he was the guy to go to for this kind of content, this kind of community. It's very niche, but it worked out for him, at least so far. I mean, he's not blown up, but he's a pretty solid streamer. What do you think? Like, do you think that it's the move to be one game Andy, or or maybe one game Andy to rise up? Or?
No, okay, no. So I think the only reason that he maybe blew up, number one, he's got the world record in this game, and naturally, if you're like best in the world at a game, you're gonna get viewers from people wanting to see it. But also, like, I think it's just because it's like just a meme at this point, like how it's like this funny game to dedicate your entire life to, like a SpongeBob game, like a kid's game, dedicating your entire life to it is pretty funny. But also, I know plenty of people who have done the exact same thing. Like, there's this one streamer, his name is Mr. Gorish. Again, none of the audience would know him, but he's literally, since I've known him for like 3 years, almost every night he's live playing Toontown Online, and it's for like crazy long streams, and I'm pretty sure he's like a 2 average viewer streamer, but it's like he's really good at the game at this point because he plays it every single night, and like he's gotten pretty big raids before. That was how I found him, was because he got a pretty big raid. But like at the end of the day, your audience isn't going to want to sit down every night and like watch the same thing. There's tons of creators that I've seen that have fallen off by doing the one game gambit. Especially like first wave Minecraft creators. First wave Minecraft creators had so many years that their careers were just dead because they dug in their heels and decided they were still going to do Minecraft content during those like years that everyone was saying Minecraft was cringe and stuff. And same with Fortnite creators. Tons of Fortnite creators that didn't change games when while they were still popping. They just ended up dying off. I mean, Ninja probably could have been a variety creator still at his original size if he switched games while he was still big, but he waited until he had switched platforms multiple times, and then he came back to Twitch as like the League of Legends guy and sort of fell off. Not to say that he's like fully fallen off. He still gets a really good amount of viewers, but so I think it's, yes, you should do the switch to variety. My thoughts have been all over the place this whole podcast, so I'm gonna collect my thoughts.
Just rein it in, yeah. Gotcha.
Or sort of rein in what I think about this. I think permanently being a one game Andy is not the move. I think you have to be a variety creator, but you have to know when to put the variety in. For example, there's still people making, and I know that I've like ironically been saying it about you, but truthfully, there are still creators who are making unironic Among Us content. Like, unironically making Among Us content is just not the move right now.
Yeah.
Yes, you'll still get views from like little kids, but like, if you want a good audience, you gotta have variety. I mean, the Fortnite streamers who are still streaming only Fortnite, their audience is entirely comprised of little kids.
Sure. The
Minecraft streamers, like the Dream SMP guys, their audience is entirely young teens. Like, the only people that I know that are like adults that watch Twitch, or like in general, like young adults at least, they watch variety creators, and I think that's the only move.
So it is your opinion. I think there is I think so. So what I've heard a lot is that Twitch is good for people that are experts in one game. But what I've heard is that people often rise to the top with one game, and then what they want to sustain, they start to branch out and do things differently. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of people like rise up to the top as Minecraft Annies, and then maybe Tommy starts to actually branch out and do other things. I really haven't seen it from him, but he also doesn't stream that much. I don't know. It's an interesting thought that I mean, for me, just chatting, those kind of interesting fields where you're doing really interesting things, this feels better. But maybe people who only watch Rainbow Six Siege or Valorant, or people who are the experts in those games, or maybe they're just really damn good at it, become like that's why they get big, and it's because they were good at one singular game. And then somebody like Tens, for example, who's a huge Valorant creator because he was so good, but also happened to have a personality, is now spreading out and spreading his wings and doing other things, becoming a content creator instead to an extent. But, so it's interesting.
Okay. So I do have a clarifier here. I think if you're going to be a one-game Andy, which has worked for people, it's clearly worked. The biggest streamers on Twitch right now are one-game Andys. You have to have variety within that one game, like you said. I think you were telling me a little bit about this SpongeBob guy yesterday, and you were telling me that he will do like meme runs and stuff, and like with people like Clint Stevens or Simply, they do variety within Mario 64, or Tommy Innit will do variety within Minecraft. He'll do like it's not the same content every single day. And it's like Ludwig said, he said it multiple times. The time that I remember it is when he did his video talking about how to be a streamer, and he said it's not the move on Twitch is not to sit down and just game and act like all that streaming in is just gaming. Like, it is truthfully entertaining. Like, you have to be an entertainer while you're gaming. And so I think what I thought you were asking me at first is like, was, is it a sustainable way to get big on Twitch to just like for 8 hours every day play the same game? My answer to that would be no. However, if you're doing actual content with that game for 8 hours a day, yeah, sure. I mean, XQC did 12-hour streams every day of GTA 5 for weeks on end, and he was doing huge because he was doing role play and like doing actual content. So I think yeah, you get what I mean.
I
nothing can be the same every stream on Twitch. No one's gonna watch it.
Simple as that. I think and he does meme runs every again. I just think that he does stream that game 95% of the time, but he also happens to be just a really, really, really weird dude. So it kind of helps in that sense that he's got that memery like surrounded by him. He's just, it's like a fever dream to watch him a little bit. Like, just the way he interacts with chat. He will oftentimes just be silent, but the way he's silent, it feels like, I don't know. Not to get too deep into it, it feels like this weird presence that it's like, it's okay. I don't know why, but it feels like it's okay that he's silent. But anyway, because the brain deadness of his chat sometimes. But yeah, no, I just thought it was an interesting topic because it just feels, I mean, very, very important now, more than ever, for people who are trying to grow on Twitch today. I mean, he started 5 years ago, so it's probably easier, especially being a one-game expert Andy back then, to be able to get bigger. But that's. And so we're heading into the console thing. I was going to talk about just a brief little topic here. He plays this game on Xbox. I think he's recommending you play on PS2. And it got me thinking a little bit because I still have my original Xbox. It's actually right next to me. I don't have it plugged in, but I was thinking, it's a very basic question, but what console do you play the most, and what console has been basically collecting dust? You could probably sell it and you never really think about it again. Like the ones out of the ones you have, I'm assuming you have a couple here and there.
Yeah, I've got a few consoles. Bit of a gamer, bit of a streamer. It's between two consoles for what I use the most. I have an N64 that I use for like Mario 64 content. But then I also have a Nintendo Switch, which I use a good amount. Sometimes I use it on stream, but mostly I use it off stream.
Sure.
but if I had to say like console sitting and collecting dust, I mean, I've got an original Xbox that hasn't been used in forever. Like, it hasn't been plugged in or anything in forever.
Yeah.
It sort of just sits on my shelf. And I have like an Xbox 360 that's like still in box. But like, that's just because I don't have room for it where my TV is right now. So I don't really have a reason to hook it up because I just don't have room for it.
So which one do you use the most? Would you say it's whatever? What do you use to play Super Mario 64? And then obviously N64. What the fuck is wrong with me? So you use your N64 the most probably because of Super Mario.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think for me, surprisingly the console I played the most, I'd say, is probably the Wii. Surprisingly, there's this one game that was one of my all-time favorites. It was a baseball game, but anyway, I was a big fan of baseball, so I played that game for hours on end, and I still play Wii Sports, and I think it's honestly one of the more fun consoles to return to because of just the nostalgia a little bit.
Did you mean what consoles am I using right now the most, or just throughout my entire lifetime? What is the console I use the most?
I guess both, maybe, but I'd say
Okay,
like what's collecting
like,
dust and what are you using now? Yeah.
Okay, right now I'm using my N64. Mostly I just play games on PC. But like the original consoles that like I grew up on, I guess, was GameCube, and then the Wii, and then the Xbox 360. We had an original PlayStation when I was like way younger. I have an original PlayStation now and a PS2, but like I didn't play it at all when I was younger because like the only games we had for it were like the old for the PS2 all we had were like the old Grand Theft Auto games, so obviously my parents wouldn't let me play that at like 8 years old. But
Strip club.
Yeah.
Well, you're 16. You're 16.
Look at this dance I learned on GTA. But like, yeah, I have most of my formative memories with a console were on the 360, and then when the Xbox One came out, I switched to that. Then I sold my Xbox One and bought a PC. So
I think I gained consciousness or gained sentience. You know, like when that whole trend where people are like, when did you start to realize that you existed? I think I started to realize I existed when I all of a sudden appeared on a couch playing Echo Night Beyond as a space horror game on the PS2 with my dad, and it was on a projector on our wall. It was such a weird feeling. All of a sudden I'm like, I'm here, like I'm actually alive.
I think like the earliest memories I have are probably playing on the Wii. And I think it was man, I have so many memories that like it's funny. I feel like I have memories before I gained like that consciousness of like thinking back on it. It just feels like I was walking through all those situations on autopilot, you know?
Exactly. It feels like fragments before that, and then you finally start to be like, I'm actually kind of in control. You know, I feel like I'm here. I don't know. But yeah, video games played a big part in memories for me, so it's always like I tie things back to video games or tie things back to, you know, that kind of stuff. It's easier for me.
Which is funny to me because my dad was like anti-video games when I was younger. Like he was like, which truthfully he wasn't. Like he's the one who bought me a Wii when I was younger. Like he knew what he was doing, but he liked to say all the time like he hates video games, and he still says he hates video games. But he doesn't hate them as much now that I like get money from it. Like he doesn't hate it. He doesn't hate video games that much when the Twitch paycheck comes, you know.
I got $100. I got $500 today, Dad. I'm like, all right, gaming's fine. Just keep making it fine. That's how family are. That's how family is a little bit, you know, especially when they don't understand like the whole industry. They're like, you know, yeah, as long as you make money, it's fine.
Yeah, that's.
Maybe the new ninja.
When are we gonna see you on TV? But yeah, that was a very roundabout way of saying that the N64 is the console I use the most now.
yeah. Going back to it, yeah, I would say probably the console I use the most right now is Wii and maybe even my Switch, and that's not often. I think PC is definitely overtaking my life because it just feels more accessible and it's all connected to everything, you know. But say the console, surprisingly, the console that I haven't played the most, and I have a Dreamcast and a PS1 and all that weird shit. I haven't played the Xbox One the most out of anything. I have not touched my Xbox One in 5 years.
I personally hate the Xbox One.
Yeah, I bought that with Battlefield 1 and like a pretty solid set of games, and just never ever returned back. And I don't know why. And I always play on the PS4, and not as much as those other ones, the Wii and Nintendo Switch. But for some reason, I just do not give it like any shits about the Xbox One for some reason. I've even considered selling it recently.
I had the Xbox One and I originally was like a diehard Xbox fan.
Mm-hmm. Same.
And like I had when I switched from the 360 to the Xbox One when it released, and like I was, a kid in middle school, so I like had to trade in my 360 to be able to even afford the Xbox One.
Sure.
So like that was my console I had now, because I didn't have my 360 anymore, and I regretted it so much, because like I went from this console that was just like, you sit down, you put the disc in, and you're hopping on with your friends, to like, I remember I was so mad when I sat down and had to wait. I put in a disc for like, I don't know, whatever was out at the time, like Mortal Kombat X or like Black Ops 3 or something. And I was so mad that I was about to have to wait like an hour before I could play this game when I just put the disc in. Because it's like, why go out and buy the disc if you're going to have to download it? It's just like a digital... None of the platform makes sense to me, because it's like you can buy the games on the Xbox, like just buy it digitally, and then you don't have to put the disc in to play it. You can just play it digitally. Or you can go out to the store, buy a disc, bring it home, put it in the Xbox. You now still have to wait for the game to download digitally onto your Xbox, but now you can only play it when you put the disc in. You can't play it without the disc in the system.
Yeah, and it annoyed me even, like on the Xbox 360 when I had to like download even like something stupid as Black Ops for like a few minutes. But now it's just, when I bought the Xbox One initially, Star Wars Battlefront took, 8 hours to install. And I had to play. It's still installing. And luckily, I had the Darth Vader like mini game prior, and I was just fucking like playing the same damn mini game for so long. And this is like Christmas morning, I just want to play like damn console, and just back in the day,
I never even thought about that. That would be like a terrible situation to be like a small child on Christmas morning. Like you get your Xbox One. Because, like, the whole appeal on Christmas morning was when you woke up and, like, there were games there. Like, you could go put them in the console and you could play
Black Ops, COD,
and, like, you would
plug and play.
Yeah, you would spend your Christmas morning playing that. That would be, like, such a bummer to be like, thanks for Black Ops 4, Mom. It's going to be, 5 hours before I can play this. Especially if you're somewhere with bad internet,
Sure, I know. It's really rough.
Yeah, I've got good internet, so that's not a super big issue for me, but
Yeah, but I mean, anyway, I just find consoles like really interesting. I collect boxes. I have all these tons of old like stuff that I'm sure kids opened up on Christmas morning in the past, and now they're mine. So, but
I've got a good amount of consoles. Like, I still have my original Game Boy Color that I used to play on as like a young child.
I think mine was stolen, surprisingly, sadly.
Yeah, the only game that I think I still have for it, I assume I have other ones, I've just lost them. The only one I still have for it was the one that was sitting in it, which is Pokemon Gold.
Oh man, that might be worth a lot. Or wait, no, Heart Gold is. Wait, is it the same thing? I don't know.
I don't know. It's the gold cartridge Pokemon. Yeah, so it's like, but like, I always loved consoles. I'm fully convinced that my original memory of Sentience was probably like playing on my DS Heavy, like the original DS that was like,
that block
that felt like a brick.
Yeah.
You could throw it at the windshield and it would just take out the whole thing.
Nokia,
but like it was like a Nokia DS, but playing like, I don't know, not Animal Crossing Wild World was what I used to play a lot on there. Or any of the Sims games.
I wanted to get back into Sims, but nowadays, fucking, even as much as I play on PC, I don't have a disk drive. I need to buy a disk drive and hook up to my PC.
I have Sims 4, and I tried to play it, and for some reason I couldn't get into it, which is weird, because like Sims used to be my like life as a child. Like I used to love playing Sims. Like I played other games while I was playing it.
Yeah, for me it was Habbo and Webkins. So yeah.
I am. I feel like Webkins was just like the privileged child's Club Penguin. It was the
Stuffed
rich kids'
animals,
Club
yeah.
Penguin. Although I have a really funny story about Club Penguin. When I was a kid, I never understood why kids at school talked about loving Club Penguin so much, because I was I was stupid, okay? And I never thought about putting my own email in the parents' email spot. So, you would go on Club Penguin, I would create a penguin, and then I would go to the end where you had to put in your parents' email. But I didn't realize the email I was putting in for my mom was just not an email she checked, so she would never approve it. So every time I would go on Club Penguin, I would just create a penguin and put in the email and it would be done. So I thought that all that Club Penguin was
That's so
just
sad.
a penguin creator.
God,
the
that's
whole
terrible.
game. I thought the whole game was just creating penguins, and I'm like not even kidding you. I did not realize until like late middle school, when Club Penguin memes were starting to become a thing, that like there was a whole game that I was missing.
No, man. Actually never played Club Penguin, but I was busy getting groomed on Habbo, which was pretty fun. But yeah.
Yeah, I played a lot of Pop Tropica. That was a big one at like my elementary school.
I played
was
Fun
Pop
Brain
Tropica.
on Pop Tropica. Did you play that Fun Brain board game type deal where they never
Yeah,
finished it?
Fun Brain. Yeah, they never finished the turtle game, wasn't it?
Fuck those guys.
Dude, I can't believe they never finished the turtle
was
game.
so
I remember kids would like start rumor, like they would have a rumor where they would be like, my cousin played the turtle game. My cousin said that one time he went on Funbrain and played the turtle game.
So they actually released every single game, including all of the missing games, but it's like on a website, like a weird website, but it has all of them.
No way.
Yeah, you should do that. You should stream that. It's actually pretty funny because I was like really mad one day because I wanted to play the turtle game and all the other games that they never finished. And so I was like, I looked it up, and Funbrain is obviously gone. Sadly, it's like no longer a thing. But I looked up Funbrain games, and they're all there. And I don't know what website it was called, but I found it, and it was like basically it had like a bunch of links to, like, I don't know, technically web browsers, but they're not actually websites. They're kind of, I don't know how you say
Yeah,
it,
I get what you mean.
You know what I mean? So it was a revelation that I actually got to finally finish what my childhood was about. I don't know, some of them it feels like maybe they were fan made, but I think a lot of them were actually the real deal, which is kind of cool.
One that I definitely, like, a core memory for me as a child, and I don't have a lot of people who also grew up playing this, but Wizard 101 was like my favorite game as a kid, and I actually tried to stream it a couple times, but like no one wanted to watch it because truthfully it's a very boring game. But I was having so much fun playing it that I wasn't even paying attention to view count while I was playing it. Like, I think I did a full stream and realized I was averaging, like, afterwards I looked at my viewer average and realized that I was averaging like less than half my normal amount of viewers. But like, I was having so much fun playing this children's game like that I wasn't even paying attention to view count. So I was like, man, that's how I know that this is like one of my favorite games even now, is because like it was able to distract me from the thing that normally like weighs on me a good amount.
Sure. I think I do have something else that I want to talk about. We probably should wrap up, but it's a good idea for next podcast. There is a interesting community surrounding Webkins nowadays, and I think we should talk about that at some point. Maybe we should talk about.
We can talk about it right now, because there's actually the first 10 minutes of our recording is just like nothingness. Remember? So
yeah. And I guess I'll say speaking of Webkins, there is. I streamed Webkins once, just kind of like as a bit of a memorial, going back to all the however 20 something Webkins actually owned. They had a huge mansion. Go back, play all the stupid games, have a good time. I get a couple people in chat, and they are seemingly big Webkins fans. They're just kind of stopping by watching, saying that I should be given partnership because I don't know. I had like 18 people watching, but I was like, are you actually? Because there's like Webkins should contact you, and so because they're struggling right now, and so anyway I post the video on Reddit on the r/Webkins, because I'm farming views and everything once I eventually post the video, and they say in the comment sections, multiple comments. I don't have them pulled up. In fact, I wish I could. But in the comment section was, you have a lot of rare items. You should join this Discord, and I'm willing to pay you for some of the items that you have in this game. And that was more than one comment. There's like, I think 3 or 4 people said that. And I was like, what kind of stuff am I sitting on here? And so I talked to them. They're like, yeah, I'll give you $20 for this, or I'll give you $10. I'm like, what the fuck? Like you're still playing this game that is dead. It's been dead for a long time. There's still a very, very small, seemingly aggressive community out there that's still passionate about this game. And they're willing to pay you for items that are rare or considered rare in the game that only happened once, you know, or it was like one event that happened in 2015 or however many years ago. And they are still out there, and they're like hunting for it, like it's like some sort of like bargain bin hunting, like flea market type shit. And I just find that to be nuts that there are people out there that are adults that are like collectors of this game, especially since it's been changed so radically recently. But it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy to think about.
That's wild.
There's these communities that are living on islands that are still surviving. Gambling, I love it. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, boys. I think we're going to have to wrap it up there. Again, I'm Friedmemechef. You can find me at twitch.tv/Friedmemechef. Mac, where can the people find you?
I am GreasyMac on Twitter, on Twitch. Call me by your name.
Yep. Again, only call him by your name if you are under 18. All right. See you later, boys.